and seemed to consult some deeper place of thought. When I think about living my best life, I like to imagine that I'm helping people. In school, I teach third graders. She smiled. I like to think I'm helping them, making a difference, but when I dream, I'm helping thousands of people. Helping people who never had a chance, feeding the hungry maybe, or opening medical clinics or charter schools, something bigger. That's why tutoring never appealed to me. It's focusing all my effort on one person. It doesn't scratch the itch. You're a philanthropist? Yeah, just without the checkbook, or at least I'd like to be. When you say you want to help thousands, does that mean you'd be down there in the food bank, packing 1,000 lunches for the needy? Or are you in a high-rise working for some big charity, making executive decisions? Can I do Tuesdays and Thursdays in the food bank and Monwed free in the high-rise? I'd say the boss can set her own schedule. The plates were cleared and Denise's carbonara pasta arrived. I had the rigatoni. Meatballs bigger than your fist were served in a separate bowl. I caught Jasmine's attention and tapped on my empty wine glass. She nodded. Denise, please take a meatball. These are huge. I tried to airlift one with a fork and knife. Well, okay, she agreed. I don't think I can eat everything, though. I conveyed the meatball delicately over to her plate, and it fell right in the center. Perfect. Thank you, she said. Now my food looks like Epcot Center. We dug in. Now, about your plan to be a great philanthropist, I said between bites. It does seem kind of vague. I mean, charter schools, clinics, food banks. You're all over the place. If you're going to have a second career in charity, it's going to take work to make it happen. You've got to set goals. You need an action plan. What's your first move? Oh, it's definitely vague. I don't have any plans yet. For the time being, it's just a thought, a wish. There are other parts of my dream life I'm focused on more actively right now. Such as what? Such as the guy sitting across from me slurping up tomato sauce. I looked up at her raised eyebrow. Yes, I had momentarily forgotten the reason for the dinner and the grim task that I still had to accomplish. The conversation was so engrossing. It had distracted me. But this dinner was going to end badly. In tears, there was no way around it. But if Denise wanted to have this conversation about our hearts, our dreams, right up until that last moment, she had my permission. It might be the last time we would ever talk. We might as well make it memorable. So tell me about that part of your dream, the part you're working on now. Denise spoke tenderly. You talked about kids before. I want them too. I don't know how good of a mother I'll be. I don't know if I'm prepared. But in my dreams, to be called mom by a child who I love, who loves me, I want that badly. Go on, I said. And then there's you. You're there. Denise was again making a fist and summoning courage. I want you to understand. And tell me, I want to know. My whole life I've been conscious of looking different. I've never been desired. Trent, when we were married, we never made love. I realized he was just putting on an act. When we were in public, he showed lots of affection. Behind closed doors, he just tolerated me. Now her other hand grasped the tablecloth. She pressed on. I want, so much, to be loved and desired. This is my dream. I want a man who doesn't just love me but looks at me with hunger and comes unglued with desire and need. As she spoke, keeping her poise but just barely, my blinking problem started happening again. 1 second she was tomboy Denise playing dress-up, then the next second she was a stranger, a woman I had never seen with a peculiar and uncanny beauty, totally unique. Then back to Denise and so on. In my disoriented state I whispered, but why me? Why does it have to be me? She took another breath. It was 5 or 6 months ago. I was at home, looking through photo albums. I found the pictures from when you moved here, helping you with the move, and then the housewarming party. I was enjoying all the pictures, and I noticed I caught you candidly in so many different moods. Excitement, laughter, irritation when someone dropped a box, silliness, exhaustion, contemplation, even sadness. For each one I had a picture. She made eye contact and held it. I had the complete Eric there in all the pictures. Together they made a whole. They were just pictures, but suddenly I could see you in 3 dimensions. I could look at you from any angle. The good and the bad, the happiness and the sorrow. You were a complete person. And there was a moment when it all clicked, when all the pictures combined into one man. That was the moment I fell in love with you. I was still. Her story moved me. She spoke with such tenderness, and as I blinked back and forth between gawky Denise and the beautiful stranger, I could sense the stranger was getting the upper hand. Not only that, but where before I hadn't thought you were particularly handsome, I had long ago filed your looks away as average. When I looked at the pictures now, I saw only the most beautiful face anyone could hope to have, filled with so much capacity for love. Why had I never noticed it before? I love it even now, she added with a teary grin. Even with surprise on your face and food on your shirt. It was the grin that I loved. I'd seen it 1,000 times. The beautiful stranger vanished, and awkward Denise was back, with her big eyes and freckles and wiry frame. From outside came a louder roll of thunder. The storm was close. I was humbled. So I take it this is the theory of attraction you wanted to tell me about. Yes, she continued, eyes moist. When I was young, when I knew I looked different, I was told that beauty was on the inside. It was who you were inside that mattered. How you looked on the outside was unimportant. When I grew up, I figured out pretty quickly it was a lie. Beauty was definitely on the outside. That's how the real world worked. And I was depressed. But now I've become convinced that both theories are wrong. There's a third possibility. Denise's voice now halted and quavered. I think beauty on the inside. It affects the outside. It changes the outside. If you're good and strong and compassionate and loving, you actually change. You become beautiful. My mind raced to follow her thinking, but also to comprehend the shifting image of the woman in front of me, so delicate, speaking with such vulnerability and honesty, summoning pure courage to overmaster her fear. If I can be all those things, I can be beautiful, from all angles, all pictures. If the other person can know me in full as I really am, this is what I believe. And if I'm wrong? If I'm wrong? Her voice trembled at the breaking point. Then I'm wrong about everything, then I'm lost. And with that last cry from her heart, the blinking stopped. The women merged. There was no more gawky Denise and no more beautiful stranger. There was only beautiful Denise. Dazzlingly, achingly beautiful Denise. I was overwhelmed. I had never seen such a vision of beauty. And it had been there all along, and if I hadn't been blind, I might have seen it. Denise noticed the change that came over me, the utter shock, the hypnotic expression, and I think she permitted herself some hope. Are you okay? She asked softly. Denise, oh my God, you... Yes? You. Buongiorno, said the violinist. Buona serata. How are you doing tonight? We're doing really well, said Denise, her confidence rekindling. In her eyes was that gleam of hope. She wiped a tear with a napkin. My jaw stayed slack. Would you two like a little music tonight? The whole playlist, please, she requested. And sir, if you don't mind my saying, you have a magnificent mustache. Grazie, he exclaimed, settling in on the violin's chin rest. 5. We spilled back out onto the dark street, laughing. Oh, sol mio, I sang. Something, blah, blah, blah. Denise snorted. Sole mio means my sunny day, not really appropriate for this. She pointed at the sky. What did you give that guy? I gave him a 50. Not a bad rate for a private concert. She laughed again and grasped my hand. The beach is right over there. Let's take a stroll. Flashes of distant lightning were visible, shooting sideways, but we persevered, hand in hand, through our parking lot and then a short walk to the sand. Denise stumbled but steadied herself on my arm. A single streetlight illuminated us. High heels in sand, you really planned this out? I know, I'm a real mastermind. You're incredible. No, really, I'm amazed by you. I'm humbled, I'm grateful. I can't believe I deserve this kind of affection. You're worth it. She flashed her smile, and now I was the one who needed steadying. She was stunning, marvelous, unfathomably pretty. Drops of rain began to plop down. I think we've got the beach all to ourselves, she observed. Yeah, that's because no one else is this crazy. Before the words were out, the rain turned into a downpour. The lightning flashed again, and the thunder followed with a bang. We didn't run. We faced each other. Within seconds, I saw Denise get soaked. Her makeup ran, her dress was drenched, and soon it clung to her skinny frame. Her careful dew was ruined, and within moments she looked like a drowned rat. I stepped towards her. Oh my, she said over the din of the rain. Well, I'm sorry. I guess the illusion is over. There's no illusion, I replied. I touched her chin and held it up. You're gorgeous. What? She asked. I raised my voice over the rain. I said you're gorgeous. I've been an idiot. Your theory number 3. You were right. I see you now. The real you. You're beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Her eyes went wide in shock. Oh, she said. She shook and I covered her lips with my own. I kissed her deeply. Her body tensed, quivered, and then finally relaxed. She kissed me back. When, reluctantly, we pulled apart, I stood to full height and I removed her glasses. She looked at me, blinking and exposed, vulnerable, beautiful, secret. I was transfixed. Behind her eyes were oceans and continents. We kissed again. My eyes stayed open long enough to see hers roll, then shut. A minute later, soaked beyond all salvaging, we walked back to the cars. The rain had not let up for a moment. We reached the point where we would turn and go our respective ways. Neither of us wanted to release the hand of the other. I live closer, she said. Come home with me. I paused and had a brief debate. Home with me meant intimacy, intimacy with Denise. Just hours ago, the very thought was insane. Now I want it. God help me, but I wanted it. But the danger had not changed. Everything we had was at risk. She saw my hesitation. Please, she said, squeezing my hand. I required no more persuasion. I nodded. We moved quickly to the hot hatch. Finally, out of the rain, we shut the doors and she started the engine. I looked at her closely. Denise was shaking with cold and with excitement. Her glasses were fogged. The windshield showed only a blur of colors and water. Let me drive, I said gently, placing a hand on hers. Yes, okay. I stepped out and ran around the car while Denise climbed in the passenger seat. The hot hatch sped up Santa Monica Blah VD in light traffic. Denise took short breaths. Her teeth chattered. Listen to your breathing, I said, smiling. Your heart must be beating out of your chest. Chatter. Just so. Happy. Eric. Chatter. So. Happy. I turned on the heat and reached to hold her hand. It was cold. She shook uncontrollably. We arrived at her townhouse. I parked in her spot. Back into the rain? I asked. She nodded. She took off her heels. We opened the doors and were back in the deluge. We raced across the courtyard and up the stairs to the second floor. Down a few doors and Denise fumbled in her clutch for the keys. The anticipation was terrible, wonderful. Shaking, she struggled to fit the key in the lock. I covered her hand and steadied her. The lock turned. Then we were inside, and the door shut. We stood in darkness, drenched, and Denise shook even harder. I'll get some towels, she said. I stopped her. No. She reached for the lights and I stopped her again. In the dark, I kissed her, urgently, first on the lips, then down her neck. Oh, she said. I pulled at the dress. She undid the belt and I pulled it off her shoulders. It fell in a puddle at her feet. Underneath was a ridiculous padded bra. With a practiced hand, I unclasped it, and it fell too, forgotten. Still kissing her neck and shoulder, I put a thumb inside the band of her underwear. Take these off, I told her. She chattered, but started pushing the panty down. I pulled it down the rest of the way. She was naked, a silhouette shaking with cold. I want you, I whispered. Oh. Now I picked her up. She was light as a bird. I carried her to her bedroom and placed her down. My own clothes came off. I kicked them away. Rain beat on the windows. I moved to the bed. She was cold all over, but I was hot as a coal. My whole body practically steamed. I wanted to touch her everywhere. My hands ran over every inch of skin. Her legs slipped between mine, so smooth and cold. My hand moved down her body. She stiffened, and then she thrashed. I need you, Denise, I whispered with urgency. Please, Eric, she replied. Don't wait any longer. With a surge of passion, I pulled her close, both of us gasping at the intensity of the moment. We held each other tightly, lost in the moment. Doubts flickered in my mind, but I was too far gone. She cried out as we reached our peak together. That was incredible, she said, catching her breath. Just the beginning, I replied, pulling her even closer, moving more slowly, savoring each second. I can't believe it, I said. We're doing this. We're lovers. I can't believe it. I know, she moaned back at me. It's incredible. For the next few minutes, I continued at the task, alternating speed and force. That it was Denise of all people, my friend, that she had won me, claimed me, made it scary and intense, and more intimate than any lovemaking I remembered. When we finished, I rolled on my back. I was exhausted, overheated. Then Denise was there, placing kisses on my chest, rubbing me up and down my sides. Let's get under the covers, she suggested. I kissed her head. It occurred to me that I was too hot. I might have earned myself a fever, but Denise's body was cool, and under the sheets her embrace felt wonderful. It's bliss, she said, and then I slept. 6. Yeah, you're a jerk. Harsh daylight filled the bedroom. My wife Helena was collecting items from around the room and tossing them into an open suitcase. I stood in the doorway, pleading with her. I don't know how it happened, I told her. It shouldn't have happened. It was just the one time. You disgust me, she spat. It's Denise, isn't it? I didn't mean to do it. I've made a terrible mistake, and you cheat on me. And it's with her, your friend, the one who looks like a teenage boy. Don't say that. Bile rose in me. You don't know anything about it. Your amazing special platonic friend, she taunted. Look what you did to her. Please stop. Wake up now. This is agony. Helena did something unexpected. She turned to face me. Normally she bustled around the room and packed a suitcase while I stood and begged. The dream was very predictable, with only her accusations changing and mutating. But now she walked towards me. There was malicious amusement on her face. She stopped right in front of me. I could barely stand it. There's poison in you. What? You spread it to me. I'm infected with it, can't you see? She raised her arms and her smile broadened. Now it's only a matter of time before you spread it to her. No, I won't. Your new true love, she mocked. Your friend, the stick figure. You'll poison her. You can't help yourself. It's what you do. Who knows? Maybe someday it will be her standing here instead of me. I drew in a breath sharply. My eyes opened. Where was I? Then, I realized, and I exhaled. I was in Denise's bedroom, in her bed, and there was daylight. We were still tangled together. She snored peacefully. The smell was familiar. Her laundry, her house, and her only intensified. I was in her bed. I was feeling her weight on me. The panic from the dream had fled, but it was replaced by unease. The events of the evening prior came back to me one by one. The restaurant, the beach, her bedroom. I fought the urge to escape. I had set out the night before to let Denise down as gently as possible and talk her back to our old easygoing camaraderie. But now my world is different. She was in love with me. The path back to the old friendship was closed, and what did I feel? My friend was naked, embracing me and snoring. Her beauty was stunning. In her peaceful face, I could see a reason to get up every day and work and strive and achieve. Her looks had no competition. Hollywood, Madison Avenue, Paris. They should all dream of having one woman with half of her smile. But then, why didn't I let her turn on the light last night? What was I afraid of? And then what about the risk of everything blowing up? There's poison in you. Gingerly, I extricated myself from Denise's limbs and then fled the bed. I grabbed my damp clothes and left the room to dress. I would have to call a rideshare. I quickly put on the wet shoes and squeaked to the front door. I turned the knob, then stopped. To let Dennis wake up in the house all alone would be unforgivably cruel. I let go of the knob. I would not leave until she let me go. Though the desire to run away was almost irresistible, I stripped naked again and grabbed a yellow bath towel from the linen closet. When I saw her shadow fall over me 30 minutes later, I was wearing the towel, sitting in her laundry closet, watching my clothes and shoes thump around in circles in her dryer. Good morning, Sole Mio. She kissed me on the cheek. She wore an expression of simple happiness. She was wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants, looking somewhat alarmingly like the old Denise. For a second, all was well. Then her eyes scanned my face, darting up and down, and her smile turned quickly to fear and concern. Oh no, she said. What's wrong? Are you okay? I'm all right, I said out of habit. I never knew how to answer that question any other way. She knelt down and sat next to me. A hand cupped my cheek. Did we make a mistake? I asked. No. Oh no, oh Eric, it wasn't a mistake. We followed our hearts. We were friends and now we're not. I don't know what we are. I'm scared of hurting you and losing you. You would never hurt me. I hurt Helena. I looked up at her. There's poison in me. A poison? Denise, is there a way forward now for us? All I see are paths that end with your heart broken, and me alone without you in my life. Is there a path that leads to us being happy? Denise clenched her fist into a courage ball. Yes. I swear to you, yes. Can I go home? Is that okay with you? You want to leave? I'd like to go home and think this through. Well, oh, okay. I stood and the yellow towel dropped. I was mortified and covered myself. Denise was startled and turned away. Would you like a glass of juice before you go? No, thank you. I began collecting the hot clothes out of the dryer and redressing. As soon as everything was on, I hurried out to the hall. Wait, she cried. Your car's not here. I'll drive you. No, that's okay. I'll be all right. I raced towards the exit. My only thought was escape. My heart rate was climbing. Wait, she said. She dashed in front of me, then threw her arms around me. She hugged me ferociously. One thing. She pulled back and kept her hands on my shoulders. Come back tomorrow. I don't know, maybe. No, promise me you'll come back tomorrow, Sunday. I have something in mind for us. An activity, a full-day activity. I blinked. What is it? It's a secret, but it's the path you were talking about, the path for us. Well, promise me. Okay. Oh, good, she said. Come around 9 wind or 10 mo. Eat a good breakfast first. On her face was a hint of mischief. Despite everything, I managed a small smile. You're crazy. She opened the door. Now get out of here. You think I let my men hang around afterwards? I laughed. A tear came out. Goodbye, she smiled. I was at a crossroads. My mind kept suggesting ways to exit this strange new relationship gracefully, with the least amount of pain. Every thought was a new strategy for unwinding the last 24 hours and going back to the way things were. I paced my apartment, entertaining each idea in turn. And yet, among the crowd of voices in my head competing to be heard, there was one voice that was different. You want to be with her, it said. You could love her back. And despite not wanting to listen, this single voice gradually became dominant, and the voices telling me to flee were quieted. This voice was patient but insistent. I interrogated it. I can't date my best friend, I said, and you can. I can only make love to her if the light is off. You haven't tried? I don't deserve her. Become a man who does. I betrayed Helena, and I'll betray Denise. To this the voice had no reply. I thought about calling Manuel, not the wisest man to consult in matters of love, but better than talking to myself like a lunatic. I needed another perspective. I'll just text him, I decided. Hey buddy, I wrote, I could use a little assistance. After a minute, the reply, on a Saturday night, put the laptop down, go out and have some fun. No, it's not about work. Need some advice. Can I ask you something personal? All right, partner, what's on your mind? Do you think it's possible that you can know someone for a long time, and then one day you look at them and realize they're beautiful? That they've been that way all along? Yes, I do. That happened to me with Wilkie. It's very possible. Really? I didn't know that. Who's Wilkie? From back home, you remember Wilkie, my Great Pyrenees. No, with a woman. Can it happen with a woman? Oh, you're thinking about your friend Denise. Yes, we crossed a line yesterday, and now I've got tough choices to make. Look at you, you lady killer. What would you do in my shoes? The woman loves me, and she's absolutely beautiful, but my brain keeps telling me she's just a friend. I get what you're saying, partner. I've got a strong opinion on this one. You want to hear it? I do. Let me have it. I know you're asking me for advice, but you're privately hoping that I give you a certain answer. I don't know which answer it is, cut her loose or go for it, but one of those is the answer you're wishing that I'll say. That answer is the right one. I was silent, but let me add a thought. Joy is my best friend. It took us a long time to get to that point. I don't know what the right decision is for you, but being her friend, that's a gift. It's a plus, not a minus. You said you can't date your friends, I typed. Did you mean it? Yeah, I said that. That's my gut. It's dangerous to cross that line. But it sounds like you and her are past that. If you and Denise can be great together, please don't call it off because of my gut. I chuckled. Don't worry, this is on me to figure out. Thanks for the advice. I'll see you on Monday. Now I miss Wilkie. Adios. Tomorrow. I would have to figure it all out by tomorrow. One way or another, my life was going to change. Before bed came one last text. I thought it might be Manuel with an additional thought, or maybe a picture of his old dog. But it was from her. My heart leaped when I saw her name. 9:30 a.m., she said. You're going to love this. Get some good sleep, and eat breakfast first. Sole mio, I thought as I started turning off the lights. 7. Sunday dawned. Helena had not interrupted my sleep. Instead, I woke up refreshed and hopeful. Denise swore she had a path for us. For today I would trust her, and I refused to start my morning by obsessively revisiting each of yesterday's doubts. After a shower, I put on a good versatile outfit for a mystery day, shorts and a tee, and I laced up my good tennis shoes in case this all-day activity was going to be a real excursion. Down to the coffee shop I went, and as instructed had a croissant sandwich. I picked up a Danish to go for Denise. She was a 30-minute drive away, and as I set out, I rolled the windows down. The day seemed full of fresh promise, and the birds were especially vocal. I parked on the street and made my way into Denise's townhome community. In short order, I was knocking on her door. "It's open," came her voice from inside. I turned the knob and re-entered the hallway that 24 hours earlier I had wanted so badly to escape. "Hello?" I asked, walking toward the kitchen. Her voice came from behind the bedroom door. "Hi, Eric. Come in. I'll be out in a second." "I brought you a Danish. Are you hungry?" "Oh, thank you. Can you put it in the fridge?" "Yeah." Shutting the fridge door, I heard the bedroom open and Denise's footsteps walking to the living room. I headed around the corner and was met with a surprising and lovely sight. Denise stood in the center of the room, striking a pose. She wore an orange and gold kimono, extending down to the tops of her thighs. There appeared to be nothing underneath. Aside from this and her ever-present glasses, she wore only a pair of wooden sandals, and her hair was up in a bun, held tight with a pair of chopsticks. She saw my approving reaction and flashed her smile, and once again I was struck back as if by a blow. She had no idea what her smile did to me. My attempts to explain it would never be adequate. "So are you ready for our all-day activity?" she asked. "I am," I smiled back. "What do you have up your sleeve? I'm ready for anything." "Haven't you guessed it?" I scanned her up and down. "Is it origami?" "Nope, it's lovemaking." She removed the chopsticks and her hair spilled down. My eyes went wide. "I hope you had breakfast," she added. Denise tossed the chopsticks and advanced on me. Instinctively, I felt myself backing up to the wall. The first test of my nerves and my reluctance was upon me. "This is the path for us?" I asked. "More intimacy?" She confirmed as she kept up the slow walk. More, 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 more. I hit the wall and her hands were soon on my chest. One hand dropped down and unzipped my fly. Not breaking eye contact, she put her hand in, pulled the briefs down. "You see, today, I'm going to train you," she explained. "Train me?" She nodded, like a spaniel. The pleasure of her hand and the unbroken eye contact put me instantly into a kind of trance. "I am going to train that lizard brain of yours, and I don't even mind telling you what I'm going to do. You can know my agenda, it won't make a difference. You'll get trained just the same." She pulled me down for a sensual kiss. I loved it. "First, I'm going to teach you to associate my body with lovemaking. Every time you see me, you will get excited. You see someone else, some curvy woman, you will look behind her, wondering where I am." "Uh-huh," I whispered. "And second, I'll teach you that we can love each other and be each other's best friend. They go together. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense now. It will soon." "Now," she asked, looking to the side, "where did I leave that book?" I blinked myself back to lucidity. Denise went to the coffee table and retrieved a large, hardbound book. She placed it in my hands. "Take a look at this," she said. I looked down in confusion at the heavy hardcover. "The Secret Erotic Arts of Feudal Japan," I read. 100 positions practiced and perfected over centuries in the land of the rising sun, fully illustrated. I looked at Denise with amazement. "Read the inside part," she said. I opened the cover and continued reading the liner. "Our archivists and historians have carefully restored an exquisite collection of Yamato-e silkscreens and ukiyo-e prints." "Ukiyo," she corrected. with awe. You speak Japanese? No, I just like the way I say it better. Duh, I scoffed. I resumed reading. Ukiyo-e Prince, revealing in never-before-seen detail the lost oriental art of love. I flipped the heavy pages. Each one was illustrated with a ponytailed man and a geisha woman doing improbable things. The woman looked very patient. Denise stood by me and looked also. How far do you think we can get? I smiled at this amazing woman next to me, then I confided, I'm a little nervous about this. She stood back, uncashed the kimono, and then stepped out of it. She tossed it aside. Look at me. Denise stood naked in the daylight. One fist was clenched, the other she rested on a hip. She held her chin up. With effort, she maintained a confident smile, though around her eyes danced the truth of her nerves and insecurity. Oh, Denise, she was so skinny. Her legs and arms were bony. On her chest was the barest outline of 2 breasts. In truth, I did not find it attractive. But she was not just a body, she was a person, my friend, my lover, with such tenderness in her heart, with such a blazing intelligence and wit, with a smile that could turn me into a gibbering fool. There won't always be thunderstorms, she said. There won't always be nice clothes and dark, desperate passion. Sometimes it will just be us in the daylight at 10 in the morning, and it has to be good then too, right? She looked at me hopefully. I felt insecure too, I felt apprehension, but I reminded myself that today I was going to place my trust in her. In reply, I raised my hand, then turned it into a courage fist. She lit up at this gesture. I removed everything, shirt, shorts, briefs, socks, and shoes. She walked to me. Standing, our arms wrapped around the other, and for a few seconds we held on. Denise's heart was beating fast. Should I take the glasses off, she asked. No, keep them, I replied. I get to see you. It's only fair you get to see me. She nodded and kissed me again, this time a lustful kiss where her tongue probed once, twice, and then I surrendered and she pushed it inside. The kiss ended naturally. Wow, she breathed. I could do that all day, I admitted. Sorry, our schedule is too packed for that. We've got a lot to do. A mischievous smile began to grow. To begin with, I'd like us to warm up with a little game. Oh, what game? The rules are very simple. Whoever finishes first loses. Interesting, but I don't lose. I play to win. She hustled me backward and I fell on the couch, sitting upright. I haven't mentioned the stakes yet.
Oh my God.
If you win, let's see, you won't, but if you win, I'll clean your apartment top to bottom in a French maid outfit. Okay. If I win, well, I won't make it too hard on you. You just have to kiss my butt. Okay, deal. I don't lose bets, and I wasn't going to lose this one. I stood up. Denise tried to push me back down, but she was about to learn that I was double her weight. Easily, I picked her up in a fireman's carry. Ah, she cried, hitting me on the chest with small fists. You need to go to your room, I told her, adding a smack on her butt for emphasis each time she yelled. I brought her to her bed and placed her down with a challenging look in her eyes. We both had that competitive fire which made things intense. I joined her, holding her shoulders down, and asked her to cooperate. She hesitated, but eventually agreed. I commented on her appearance playfully, and the tension between us continued to build. She responded by shifting control, making me lose focus. We both shared in the intensity of the moment, until I admitted defeat with a smile. She teased, reminding me it was time for her to take charge again. All right, I conceded, teasing her. Denise, you're stunning, truly. Anyone would be lucky to be with you. Your eyes are... No, don't flatter me. I mean, you actually have to kiss my behind. She interrupted, laughing playfully. Oh, I said, caught off guard as she continued the teasing. Go on, she smirked. Is this really necessary? With a mischievous glint in her eye, Denise kept playfully daring me until we both broke into laughter, lightening the mood entirely. Before the diving crane had been the open lotus, before that the katana and saya. Denise was so eager to try them all. When my arms grew too wobbly, we collapsed in a heap on the bed and caught our breath. Looking at each other, we chuckled and then resumed laughing. That wonderful feeling of elation, mirth, it hadn't worn off. I felt airborne, all these preposterous contortions, all these variations on the theme of loving each other. It was a tonic for me. All of my doubts had seeped away. Denise's love was a gift I didn't deserve, but she had given it freely. I need water, she added after a snort. It's hard work being a geisha. We padded out to the kitchen and both had a glass. It's weird, I mused. It doesn't even feel strange to see you naked anymore. I'm conditioning you, she said slyly. She stepped to me and pressed her body to mine. My theory, informed by years of psychological training. Which you don't have, I pointed out. She laughed again, her smile so close to mine, and I couldn't resist the sudden urge to pull her into the living room. Hey, she called out in surprise as I led her to the large cushioned chair. No more distractions, I said with a playful grin. I gently positioned her legs on either armrest and softly kissed her inner thighs. Her breathing grew faster. Please, Eric, she murmured. I continued to tease her, savoring the moment, knowing this was all about making her feel completely desired. She closed her eyes, letting herself relax, and let out a soft sigh as the intensity built between us. After a long moment, we finished together, still breathless, and I gently moved up to kiss her cheek. Her eyes were glazed, but she smiled softly. Are you okay? I whispered. She nodded, still catching her breath, as we sat together quietly, holding each other close in the comfort of the chair. Did you like it? I asked. She nodded. Do you want to go back to the book? She shook her head. Then what should we do? Her eyes were tired. When she opened her mouth, her voice was raspy. I think I'll have that Danish now. We sat at her breakfast table. Denise had the kimono back on. I was wearing my briefs and shirt. The cherry Danish in front of her was mostly eaten. My arm was extended across the table and we held hands. I'm sorry, I didn't really plan a lunch, she explained. I wasn't even sure yesterday that we'd make it to lunch. I was scared. Don't be scared anymore. She smiled. I'm not. She looked away thoughtfully. I know intimacy is just part of love. It's not the whole thing, or even the most important thing. But Eric, she looked at me and paused, trying to master her emotions. This is like heaven on earth, what you do to me. How can it be this good? Hearing those words, I swelled with pride. Intimacy, for me, always included a struggle. The struggle to give back a fraction of the pleasure that I was getting. If I felt like the woman had gotten 50% of the sensations, the connection, the excitement, that was a pretty good result. But it still meant that sex was something mostly for me, something I took and they gave. To hear that Denise's bliss was the equal of my own, or even more. I could move mountains, I could conquer countries. There was no sweeter compliment. I spoke plainly. You know that I love you, right? I'm in love with you. Her reply was barely a whisper. You are? I nodded. I'm done trying to fight it. I was obsessed with what the downsides might be, the pitfalls. I thought at every turn that I would lose you. I wouldn't even look at the upside, the happiness that might be possible. She choked up. I know, right? You're so freaking stubborn. I rose and crossed to her side of the table. I took her hand and she stood up. I don't know why you chose me. I don't know why I deserve to win the lottery like this. And no matter how stubborn I got, you never gave up on me. I hugged her tightly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nobody thinks they deserve love, she suggested, the tears now falling freely. If we're going to be in a real relationship, I thought, I think we ought to warm up with a little game. Another game? She raised her eyebrows. Yeah, the rules are simple. Whoever's dreams come true first loses. She giggled at this. It might take a couple of years to play, though. You're on, she smiled. That night we cuddled on her couch under a blanket, watching movies. My feet were up on the coffee table, resting on the secret erotic arts of feudal Japan. A thought occurred to me, something that had been at the back of my mind. You tricked me, you know, I said to her. What do you mean? Asking for my help for that makeover, you just wanted to know what I considered attractive. Are you mad at me? Mad that you schemed to bring love and happiness into my life, I wondered. Well, I'll forgive you this time. It was kind of a dumb plan, she admitted. As an afterthought, I added, you know, your new clothes, the dresses and skirts and the heels. If you were wearing all that just for me, you don't have to. What? The makeover. You can go back to the old you if that's what you want. I'll love you just the same. I had meant this as a casual remark, but looking over at her, I saw she was tearing up all over again. Really? She asked. I was taken aback, but I'm an experienced dude. I nodded sagely and acted like I had meant it to be profound. Yes. I held her hand. You don't need to put on a show with me. Not anymore. She exhaled with a gust of relief and gratitude. She smiled and cried and laughed. Don't worry, I like the new clothes, she admitted. They're fun, I like the variety. But I may bring back the sweatpants, they're just too comfy. That's cool, I said. Just one request. Keep shaving your armpits, that's the only one of the changes I'll lobby for. Her eyes narrowed. What is it with you and armpits? What, you don't like armpits? No, I just, Her shirt was off in a flash. Kiss it, she demanded. Kiss my armpit. What? No, get it away from me. I'm the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, and you won't kiss my armpit? Ah, I struggled under the surprise attack. I should never have told you that. Don't make me bring out the other one. Ah, 8 Epilogue. The white-hot hatchback streaked northward at illegal speeds, up Interstate 15 towards Las Vegas. Victorville was behind us. The last exurbs rushed past and gave way to raw desert. Pristine desert, I wanted to imagine, were it not for the 7-Eleven or In-N-Out burger signs every 5 minutes. Denise sat in the driver's seat, hands firmly at 10 and 2, leaning forward and staring intently through her lenses. The sun had gone behind the mountains, but there would be another 30 minutes of light. After that, I would volunteer to trade places. How long has it been since you've had a weekend in Vegas? I asked. Does passing through on a teen tour count? Not really. Then never. I'm relying on you to show me what I'm missing. I was planning on it. Dinner, dancing, a little gambling, and that would just be tonight. We had gone shopping the week before for some fun Vegas-style outfits. I chose a fairly ridiculous black velvet shirt with a floral print. Perfect for stepping through the doors of a nightclub, but not much else. But Denise had outdone herself and chosen a silver, glittering sequin cocktail dress. She wouldn't model it for me. I'd have to wait, but I knew she was going to be stunning. Together we were going to cut an impressive figure walking up the Vegas Strip. I could imagine it vividly. Denise with her hair up, walking confidently through the crowds in that sexy sequin dress. Men and women would look at her. Most of them would be impressed. But maybe some. The theory, too, beauty on the outside types, would be snickering, nudging one another to look, wondering how this skinny, nearsighted misfit thought she could pull off an outfit like that. But when she passed close and they got a glimpse of her face, they would see something they wouldn't understand. Denise would flash a smile and they'd get a single fleeting glimpse into a soul with boundless courage, love, and laughter. For just a moment they'd be struck and stilled by a profound, undefinable beauty. They would blink, looking back at her, struggling to process what they had seen, but she would already be walking away, and she was mine. This incredible woman was mine, and her joy was my joy. There was only one problem. You're being quiet, Denise observed, and just thinking. Share it with me. About how wonderful you are, and how long this will all last before I mess it up, which I'm bound to do. Denise shook her head. You won't mess it up. It won't be like it was with Helena. I stared straight ahead. It was just her and me now. She deserved to know what she was getting into with me. She deserved the truth. There's poison in me, I told her. You've said that before, but what does it mean? I cheat on women. I cheated on Helena. I cheated on all the women before her. And given enough time, I'll cheat on you too. No, you won't. It's impossible to imagine right now. I'm in love with you. I've never felt this way about anyone before. I'm drunk with love for you. But this feeling, it's always temporary, isn't it? 1 year from now, maybe 2, I'll get bored of you. Not because any man in his right mind would get bored of you, but because of the flaw in my design, in this software. I pointed at my head. And then I'll start desiring other women. I won't tell you about it. Eventually there'll be a chance for an infidelity. Likely the other woman will be cheating too. If you've never had cheating intimacy, it can be quite intoxicating. There's this extra edge of danger and depravity. Denise listened. I'll get away with it. You won't suspect it, why would you? So I'll do it again, and again. Each time getting a little less cautious, caring less and less about getting caught. I'll have mentally checked out of our relationship. I'll compound lies on top of lies, each one getting more brazen. Eventually you won't be able to pretend to believe me anymore, and then you'll Catch me, and by then I'll be glad it happened. And your heart will break, it will shatter. And there will be a moment when the scope of what I've done, how I've hurt you, is clear to me. And there'll be no way to undo it. And even knowing right now how horrible this betrayal is and how much I want to avoid it, I don't think I can. It's like an asteroid you can see coming at a great distance. It's there. It's coming. You can't stop it. In my imagination, this confession of my deepest secret was going to make Denise weep, wail, and rend her garments. Instead, I think she merely picked her nose. She struggled now to see the road clearly in the gathering dusk. "Is that it?" she asked, and, "God, Denise, I'm being serious. Did you ever give Helena this warning back on your guy's first trip to Las Vegas?" "We never went to Las—" "No, I never warned her about it." "So you didn't tell her, but you're telling me. Sounds to me like maybe you're changing?" "Yes, I'm trying." "You can change. You're capable of change. Think of how much you've changed since I walked through your door on your birthday. You've changed more than I have. I just grew out my hair and put on some dresses. You've had to fight all these battles with yourself." "There's something in me that's broken." Broken, poison, asteroid, horrible things beyond your control. These are not the right metaphors for you, Eric. She reached over and grasped my hand. "What you're talking about are decisions, choices. You're in control of these decisions. There's no gremlin in your head pushing buttons against your will. It is not an inevitable destiny that you'll hurt me. For one thing, I won't let you. I will be there talking to you. We'll check in on this every week, every day if we have to. When my face starts to seem boring, instead of most beautiful woman I've ever seen, TM, then we're going to talk about it." "I wish that would work." "You're right about one thing," she added. "I don't think the early infatuation in a relationship can last forever. I think it's normal for passion to decline over time. But that doesn't mean I become boring, or that there's something wrong with you. It means the time where the love is effortless is ending, and the time where the love takes work is beginning. I'm not afraid of that time, Eric, because there's a different reward waiting for us there, a love between us that isn't just about beauty or lovemaking, or your frankly weird armpit fetish. God. There's a deeper love that's possible, and I can't describe it because I've never felt it, but I think it's sort of like an endless horizon just like this one in front of us." What she was describing sounded wonderful. Was it possible? Could I make different choices? Could I put my trust in Denise and trust her with helping me manage these impulses, guiding me toward a completely different destiny? "You can change," she said again. And in that moment, with Denise's hand in mine, I decided that I could. She could heal me. I would let her. My crazy, gawky, gorgeous girlfriend loved me and I loved her. It was going to be okay. "Think of it as a makeover," she advised. A smile grew across my face to match the one on hers as the car sped forward into the twinkling desert.